today, I'm going to be taking you through how our AI coaching and Guru can help support practice scenarios in real place learning and support people by being able to scale coaching across the organization. Before we dive into that specifically, I'd love to tell you all a little bit more about How Now and a little bit more about myself, as well as the context for today. So I'm Harvey. I'm part of the sales team here at How Now, and I'm one of the learning consultants that regularly speaks with people around their challenges from engagement to skills-based learning, as well as being able to scale coaching across the organization. How Now is a learning and skills platform, and we're based here in the UK, and we support organizations from 100 all the way up to 500,000 people and users. Our system can be used in many different ways, but in terms of that AI coaching element, that is what I'll be taking you all through today. We do have a few participants that are just joining us now. And just to kind of recap, we're all going to be focusing on the AI coaching Guru. But what makes How Now different? Before I dive into the platform and what makes us different to other learning platforms that you might see on the market today, I'm just going to share my screen and show you one or two slides for a little bit about us. So the big thing that makes us different and why the tools such as the AI Guru within our platform and our platform itself is getting the recognition and usage it does, is that we don't just stop at content consumption. We focus on how we can connect the dots right through from learning to skills and growth, but also how that learning is being applied in people's day-to-day jobs. And we do this all with our one integrated platform. So every learning moment drives real business impact, whether that's an individual that is watching a video, taking a SCORM course, attending a webinar, but then also on the back of that, how can we make that learning stick by supporting them with direct one-to-one coaching through our Guru or through other methods that the platform can support you with. If you do have any questions about How Now, please do drop them into the chat. I'm more than happy to pause and do that. But from here on out, I'm going to dive into the system and show you specifically how our Guru helps support in those real life practice scenarios, how it helps embed learning with users, and how you can also scale this across the organization. So we're going to start off with, this isn't just the case of that we're giving you set bespoke gurus that are only generic in certain areas, or it's going to be the case where, for example, your users can use a ChatGPT or a Gemini that covers very broad subject areas, or even the situations where you might be worried about, especially with those two solutions mentioned, that all the data that your users are putting into those systems or engaging with can go back to LLM models and used to train other AI agents and coaches. Everything that you're going to see today is based off of a closed loop, but also completely personalized to your business and based on using your internal knowledge and coaching aspects to help support people with instant personalized feedback at the point they need, but also supporting them to embed skills through real-time guidance in the flow of their work and closing those knowledge doing gaps across the teams. So right from the get-go, we're going to give you the tools to be able to build your own bespoke coaches, right from to picking a picture for the coach to giving it a name, but building out the context and purpose of how this guru is going to support people within your organization, deciding what type of guru you want it or coach to be. Do you want it to be someone that is going to challenge, push your users and ask them questions on those subject areas? Do you want it to be someone that is more asking questions and listening to the user and giving directive feedback, but also focus on the skills that can help develop your people? So keeping it completely personalized and relevant to the specific subject area that you want for that user. Most importantly, you decide what its brain and knowledge is that it helps support people. So unlike a Gemini or a ChatGPT that has got that World Wide Web information, and we've seen it today in terms of the use of AI that could give you a half correct answer or even completely wrong information, our AI coaching guru will use the internal training and documents that you decide for it to be able to support users. Whether that's searching across the entire How Now platform and pulling in the training and SCORM courses that are being used, whether that's uploading PowerPoints, PDFs, internal documentation that you already use today that is in siloed spaces that the guru can use as its knowledge bank, and even external articles, blog posts, web pages, and URLs that can be used to pull into the guru's brain and knowledge. All of this, it will then use to help support and provide that personalized learning and support to these individuals, but using all of your internal context, knowledge, and training to be able to do that. I can then personalize this even further and decide on that coaching style that I mentioned earlier in that context and type. So does it want to be, or do I want this to be more of a Socratic guide and giving reflection and asking questions? Do I want to be a directive coach that I want it to give that structured support and again, give that guidance or that mentor that is guiding those users through those situations? And even during testing with our customers and those that are using it today, the ability to have a supportive friend that could be a mental health or well-being guru that is supporting colleagues or employees through certain scenarios or certain training and conversations. And then finally, the role play scenarios. So you have the ability to use our AI to auto-generate these role play scenarios based off of the context, based off of the knowledge and training you've uploaded into it. Or you can build these yourself and describe what you want that scenario to be. So again, you can make it very, very specific and niche based off of your organization and based off of what you're looking for in terms of the role play scenario for the for the guru to be able to dive into. Now, what does that look like? Once you've created these, once you've pushed these out to the organization, you can decide who you want to share this with, whether you want to give access to everyone or specific teams. Is it even to only specific users? But for example, let's dive into a leadership guru that has been pre-defined in terms of this conversation. So it would look a little bit different for the first time a user engages with this or continues to engage. For the purpose of the call today and the demo, I've already gone through and acted with the guru to make sure that in terms of my internet doesn't drop out, but also that we can look at some real life scenarios and not have to wait in terms of those conversations. So I've engaged with this leadership guru. I've asked for it to help me better myself with storytelling and understanding the impact that it can have. It's then built me a bespoke piece of training and content that I can now dive into and get focused on that specific area. As I mentioned earlier, unlike a traditional LLM or a ChatGPT Gemini, it's going to source back to where it's got that information from and specifically the content it's built this out from. So I've got full trust and confidence that everything that is being presented to me here is correct, but also personalized to the business and being used from our internal platform already today. I can go through this piece of content and build my understanding around storytelling and read through this content. I can also dive into set headers and have the guru build out even more content in those areas that if I want to spend some more time in, for example, understanding about the clear change mandate or other areas of this that is built out for me that I can spend some more time diving into. But following this, the guru doesn't just stop there with my impact or this conversation. It will then push me to understand what can we do next, Harvey? You've read through this, you've understand, you've contextualized that information. Now let's dive into a quiz, or let's do a practice scenario that we can go through. In this instance, I've taken a quiz. I've gone through this already for the instance of the demo today. And all of this has been pre-populated by the guru from creating the quizzes to creating answers to this. I've got 6 out of 10. I've done fairly okay. But the best thing here with the guru is it then gives me feedback on what I've just done and what I can improve on. So what did I do well? Those areas that, based off of the answers to those questions, that I show that I understand and have that knowledge today. But then what the areas are that I can improve on and personalize and spend some more time learning with the guru or even in the main part of the platform. But again, every interaction with the guru, it then personalizes that next step and allows me to dive into even further. So I've now taken that quiz, it's given me that feedback, what I can improve on, and now I'm going to review my leadership skills. So I've done a skill review with the guru here specifically. And we've identified these 10 skills as the main leadership skills for me to dive into, from change management all the way through to problem solving, team building, emotional intelligence. I've rated myself with the guru going through that instance. So it's presented me the 1 to 5 scale, the Dreyfus model that we use here at How Now, with level 5 being an expert and a level 1 being a novice. Quickly and easily, I've rated my skills throughout this and gone through that process with the guru. So now it not just understands the content that I'm asking about, asking questions and creating for me, but also my specific skill levels that I have here within the business. And using all of that information, it again personalizes that next step and understands where I then need help and where I need coaching specifically. I can scroll down to the bottom here. And again, that next inference, that next step that is pushing me towards following that skill review that I've just done. So it's now pushing me, do I want to deep dive again into one of those specific skills? Do I want to practice that role play scenario, or do I want to refine my team building approach? In this instance, I've asked for it for more content on problem solving strategies. It's come in, it's built me that content again, and it's sourced back to where it's got that content from, reinforcing that everything here is based on internal knowledge rather than external expertise from other sources. And then that next step, right? I've read through all of those pieces of content. I've done a skill review. I've interacted with the guru. I've asked it a question. It's given me that content and relevance. But how can now I actually put that into practice, and how can I embed what I've just read through or what I've just learned by reading through that documentation? And that's where these practice scenarios that I can dive into and take those steps with the guru to practice what I've just learned. So I've decided that I want to practice conflict resolution. This could be any kind of area that I want to dive into, whether it's conflict resolution, whether it's first time having a difficult conversation as a first time manager, any kind of practice scenario that has been created in the back end of the guru, we can now practice. I've decided I wanted this to be a quick challenge. I don't want this to be a 30-minute simulation that I have to dive into, but I want this to be short, quick, and snappy. And now let's see what I've already done in that pre aspect of the guru in a role play scenario. So the guru will take the other half of the conversation. In this instance, it's Mia. And Mia has come to me with a specific challenge around a project. I've gone back and forth with Mia and deploying what I've learned and what I've just read through from conflict resolution and what my understanding is of the subject here today, and gone through that situation with Mia. We've now come to the end of our conversation. We've gone back and forward. I've demonstrated understanding. I've asked questions to Mia. And at the end of the conversation, it's given me direct feedback on what I've done well in this, certain scenario. I can try it again. I can go through the scenario and I can keep practicing based off of the feedback I'm given here. But also, as we've seen a few times, it then personalizes that next step and gives me feedback on what I've done well. So within this, I've scored a 90% rating based off of that scenario. It's reinforced what I've done well within this conversation, what I can improve on, and those areas for me to then spend some more time that I can then develop. And then it's pushing me again on that next step. So do I now want to take another quiz on conflict resolution? Do I want to explore more advanced negotiation techniques and being able to reinforce this even further? Or do I want to do a practice scenario on something completely different? Our guru, using all of those different learning types, whether that's creating bespoke content, whether that's doing practice scenarios, quizzes, and skill reviews, uses all of those three instances to simulate those real world practice scenarios where I can dive in and practice what I've learned and read. It gives me that instant personalized feedback where I need it directly after this situation. It reinforces what I understand with knowledge and coaching and knowledge checks through quizzes, through skill reviews, through creating content for me. It helps me embed that real-time guidance within that flow of work that I need. So again, I could be that first-time manager that has got a difficult conversation coming up. I want to practice that scenario before I get into it, and it helps close those knowledge and doing gaps across the team. So all of your organization knowledge can be used within the guru. It can be put into its knowledge bank, its brain, and used to then personalize that entire experience. But this doesn't just stop on a text-based conversation. It isn't just the case of me talking back to the guru via text. I also have the ability to have a direct conversation with the guru. So I can practice those scenarios by using text and using speech rather than text. I can ask the guru questions. I can engage with it on that one-to-one basis, but also the guru is multilingual. So it's not just English and text-based. It's up to 101 different languages that users can engage with the guru and feel comfortable within. The focus here of the guru is to create those safe spaces where people can engage in those practice scenarios. They can ask questions on specific areas about the business and specific topics they need support in. But most importantly, you can then scale this across your entire organization. So no single person has to worry about every different area of the business and being able to scale coaching on a one-to-one basis. Employees can have that direct access to a guru where they can engage with it on that one-to-one basis, have a safe space where they can get answers to those questions, and then understand on the back end of the reporting yourselves as L&D professionals, admins, and those looking at reporting can get trends and understanding of what is going on with the GUI in terms of engagement across your user base, what gaps, what are the continuous feedback that is being given to users based on where they can improve and where your organization are doing well today. I'm going to take a pause there because I haven't been able to see any questions in the chat, and let me just take a second. If there is any questions that anyone does have, please feel free to dive in with those. But in terms of using this in a wider use case, if you'd like to have more of a one-to-one personal session and understanding how the guru can help within your specific use case, or how the guru works with the rest of our learning platform and supports other training aspects to this. So not just training within this direct conversation and within this set scenario, but also how it utilizes other live classes, webinars, other forms of learning, and also what is on the roadmap for where we see Guru moving forward in the future. It's not just being able to support with your internal LMS, but also where it will be able to support your entire organization with the flow of their work and other tools that they're using here today.